The main character Zhang Jian possesses a peculiar condition that makes the people affected by love dependency disease to get attracted to him. One morning he wakes up horrified by a nightmare where he sees a little girl drenched in blood pointing a knife toward him. He realizes that it was a dream and calms down with a sign of relief on his face. Because of his special condition, once again he was transferred to a new school in a new city. Today was his first day at the new middle school, which he would be attending from today. A thing to be known about this school is that it was self-managed by the student council, which has the highest authority among them all. Zhang Jian sat for the first class, and he was already feeling bored. His sixth sense picked up something about a classmate who sat in front of him, but he was unsure about what it was. A few rows in front of him sat a girl with a sign of worry in her eyes who was sketching a creepy illustration of the main character, Zhang Jian. The bell rang, and the day came to an end. The girl from earlier paced across the classroom to stand in front of Zhang Jian. With a pinch of shyness and hesitation, she mustered up her courage and declared that she liked him. But all Zhang Jian could think about at that moment was the nightmare he had earlier that morning. The class was in an uproar. Zhang started feeling uncomfortable. Confused about what to do, he grabs the girl's hands and pulls her to the roof of the building so that they could be alone. While the girl enjoys the touch of Zhang's hands, Zhang on the other side thought about the dangers of her being close to him. So, he decided to make her hate him so that this could break for her own good. With an abrupt escalation, he proposes to kiss, thinking that the girl might hate him for that. But to his surprise, she agreed to his request and wanted him to be gentle on her while they kissed. Zhang clearly underestimated her love for him. Now he commands her to take off her clothes. The girl hesitates, so Zhang tells her that this is where they separate, and he walks towards the door. A voice from the girl caught Zhang's attention, and when he looked back, she was already undressing her shirt. Zhang was startled and closed his eyes, telling her to dress up back. Now he had to be even crueler so that she could hate him, so he made a comment on how casually she undressed in front of a stranger such as him. This was it for the girl. She slapped him with tears rolling down her eyes and ran away inside the door, leaving Zhang alone on the roof. Feeling his warm cheek, he apologizes to the girl for his rude behavior, but now he was relaxed as he should be safe for now. As Zhang recollected his unpleasant first day of school, a small girl looked at him with a pair of binoculars, wondering who he was. The little girl was alone at home and was feeling lonely. She wanted someone to accompany her for dinner as her parents might be coming home late as usual. Soon, she realized that Zhang was the new neighbor who had shifted the day before. Something weird started happening in her mind when she thought about watching him from such a close distance. Her heart was beating faster and her body was feeling hot. She notices that she likes him and now she wants to make him hers. Zhang talked with his mom on the phone about his first day at school. With a dull thud, his cup noodles spilled onto the floor. He had already lost his wallet with his ID and band card on his way home. There was an electricity and water outage in his apartments, and to top them off, his only hope of dinner, the cup noodles, were spilled on the ground. He thought it was a bad omen for rejecting the beautiful girl from his class. Zhang felt emotion behind him. When he looked back, he spotted a strawberry panties on the floor. An instant later, the doorbell rang and Zhang went to open the door. A little girl stood outside with a bright smile on her face. She introduced herself as Xia Ling, who lived next door to him. Then she claimed the panties he held in his hands as hers and asked him his name. After their introductions, Xia Ling invited Zhang to her house for dinner. In the moment of his hesitation, Xia Ling could only think about how much she liked and wanted him. In the end, Zhang ended up eating dinner at her place and washed the dishes wearing a pink apron. After he was done with the dishes, he removed the apron to head back to his room, but Xia Ling had something else planned for him. She asked him to tell her a story as she slept. Zhang tried to decline her request, but she successfully pulled him to her room. He was already having second thoughts about being there. If her parents were to see him there, he might get labeled as a pervert or a pedophile and be sent to jail. He tried to excuse himself out, after Xia Ling settled on the bed, but Xia Ling now wanted him to stay for the night with her. Zhang was now uneasy. He wanted a way out of the situation before things took a bad turn. He distracted the girl, telling her that there was something outside the window, and then he dashed towards the door. In a flash, he was now lying on Xia Ling's bed as she had him pinned by his arm and spine. Zhang was surprised by her strength and technique. Once again, she asked him to stay for the night, but now in a different tone. In an attempt to escape, Zhang declared himself as a lolicon who wouldn't be able to resist himself when he gets close to little girls. So, Xia Ling pulls out her taser and shows it to him in reply, threatening him with the crackle of electricity which it emitted. So in the end, Zhang surrendered as she mounted on top of him and a smirk ran through her cute face. Now, she leaped on him and hugged him close, once again threatening him with the taser in case he does something weird to her. As soon as she slept, Zhang realizes that she was a kid after all, and she was just being playful. Bidding her good night, he returns to his room for the night. The next morning, Zhang was speeding towards the entrance of his building as he was late for school. That's when he noticed Ma Qingxue standing by the entrance. She is the girl who slapped him the day before. Even though he wasn't sure that she was there for him, he stood by the staircase, hiding from her. A while later she left and Zhang overheard a pair of boys talking about a girl who was waiting for someone since 6 in the morning. This left him even more bewildered than he already was. His table in the class was vandalized by his classmates, who hate him now for the day before. Ma Qingxue came forward to help him, but Zhang requested her to not come any closer and bother him. With a sad face, she fled the scene. Zhang knew what he did was wrong, but he didn't want to accept her goodwill and hint her towards something. A hand slammed on his table, and in front of him stood 4 of his classmates. They dragged him to the roof and interrogated him about what he did to Ma Qingxue. Zhang proposed 10 books. Those boys looked confused. Then Zhang clarified that he was talking about porn magazines and he was willing to trade them for leaving him alone. The negotiation started and the deal was finalized at 55 books. Also, by the end of the negotiations, they seemed to have taken a liking to Zhang.